everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you're new here on Watercolor Notebook, I'm Pam, and today I've been working on these little shadow box paintings with deckled edges and in fall colors. So if you'd like to try this project, we're going to learn how to deckle the edges on the painting to get it ready to mount in the shadow box, and then learn how to prepare the mount and frame the painting. So you can really do any kind of a painting that you like for these. I just really liked using this 6x6 sheets of khadi paper that's handmade cotton paper that gives my painting a little casual flair to it, and I thought that would be suitable for doing these little fall desert scenes. So let's get started, and I'll show you how to deckle the edges on the painting to get it ready to mount in your frame. So here's another little painting that I did, and I have not prepared the edges on this painting yet. You can see there's little paint splatters, and it's not ready to go. So the first thing that we want to do is get our materials together, which you will need just any kind of a soft brush. You'll need a ruler, and I like to use a bone folder, but you can just use your hands if you don't have a bone folder. And we need a water pot. So the first thing we do is put our ruler up to the painting. What we're doing here is we're going to tear an edge all around the painting, but we're going to leave a margin of white paper because it looks really nice on the mount. You can see that I left a white border all around my painting here. So that's what we want to do with this one as well. So I decide how large I want my border to be, and I'm just going to use my ruler and center up where I will make my fold and hold that down tight. And I'm just going to kind of loosely fold this, and then I'll remove the ruler and I'll continue to fold that edge down. And now I'm going to use my bone folder and really get a hard crease in this paper. I'm going to turn it over and do it on the other side as well. Now I'm going to turn my fold back the other way and press that down again. I want to do that several times so that we really get this paper. You get a hard fold in the paper, and then we're going to put water on it. And I like to, since this wood board that I use for painting is porous, the water will dry very quickly, and it won't run all over the table. So I like to use that. I'm going to take my water pot and my soft brush and just brush the very edge of the paper with the water. Turn it over and brush the other side. We're using a good amount of water. Just be careful that you don't get the water into your watercolor painting part, because it will reactivate the paint, and we don't want that. So now let's turn our fold inside out again and do that process one more time. Both sides. And I usually flip my board over because I know the other side is nice and dry. I'm going to open up my fold and you'll notice that when you start to tear your paper, it's going to be very easy now. Between folding it and wetting it, it's very easy. Now I can use the edge of my board. You don't really need to do this. You can do it just by holding it up like this. In fact, I'll do it both ways so you can see. And I'm just going to very carefully tear that edge. And you see, I've got a nice, kind of a rough tear, but it's still straight and neat. And that's kind of like, that's how I like to deckle the edges on my paintings. And let's go to the opposite side and do the same thing again. Get my ruler up. I'm going to set in my first fold. Come back with my bone folder. Go on the other side and continue pushing down on the fold. Turn my fold inside out. Okay, and just a couple more times. You can feel that that crease is getting your paper. In fact, you can actually do this without wetting it, but I find that if you do wet it, it makes the edge a little nicer looking. It's a little bit of a neater tear, not quite as rough as it would be if you did it without wetting the paper first. Okay, turn my paper inside out. The folded edge inside out, and remember to do both sides. Okay, and let's come over where it's dry, and sometimes I will put my paper down and just push with my thumb as I move down the margin here, and it does the same thing, whichever is more comfortable for you. So there's my edge. It's a really nice looking deckle. I like it that way. You can experiment with this and get deckles that are a little rougher or smoother, however you want your painting to look. All right, now let's go to the next edge. Line it up. Get your rough fold. Remove the ruler. Finish folding it down. Bring in the bone folder if you have one. Using your water pot. Okay, so now we have all four sides of our painting deckled, and it's time to mount the painting in the frame. So the frame comes in sets of 3. You can buy these in any size that you want and different colors, but these white ones I found at Michael's. It came in sets of 3, and I'll leave the link in the comments so that you can find it. And when we take the frame apart, you will see it comes with a backboard with a little hanger on it. And then on the front part, this is a little piece of styrofoam padding that I cut into 3.5 by a 3.5 square, and I just used a little bit of Elmer's glue and put it down on the backing and glued the little piece of styrofoam right to the backing, and it really works well because the styrofoam is very lightweight, and it's about, or if we do it in inches, it's about 1/4 of an inch. So if you have other material that you'd rather use, 1/4 of an inch is the best thickness to use for this. So you have your backing, you glue the mounting foam board on it, and then the next thing that I did was I have some double-sided tape on a roll, and I just put 3 little strips of double-sided tape right on the backing so that we can mount the painting to it. The next thing that is in the frame is this little spacer, and that is what keeps your painting from touching the glass and gives the depth for the shadow box. And the next thing that you have is a piece of glass. I usually take that glass out and wash it and replace it before I mount my painting into it, because you've got all kinds of factory dust, and you know, it's been sitting on the shelf for a while probably, and you just want to make sure that that glass is really clean and clear. So we put this aside just for a few seconds, and let's work on mounting the picture. So what I do is I get right over top. I don't measure this out, you really don't need to, but I remember I have the little glue strips from my double-sided tape down here, and I'll lay my painting on top, and I'm looking at these corners, at the diagonals on the corners, and as long as the corner of my painting is pointing to the corner on my board, that is a really good way to center this up without getting so technical with the rulers and measuring everything out. So I look at the corners, make sure that they are squared up. I'm looking at the space on the top and the bottom, the space on the sides. I want this to be as straight as I can get it by eyeballing it. And then I just press down right in the center. Try not to press on the edges because you don't want to create a crease on your painting. I kind of flare the edges toward the center a little bit, and there you have it. And the next thing that we do is we want to turn this over, place it in the frame, and before you close it up, we want to take a look, make sure everything is looking good, and I think that looks pretty good. So then we turn it back over, and I usually just use a little utility knife and press the tabs down, top and bottom, turn it, and do the sides. And that's all there is to it. Now you have a beautiful little shadow box. And I'm working on a series of these this week. So that is the second one that I have done. So I'll have a nice little wall grouping. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you'll try this project. And remember to look down in the comments for a materials link and pick out some of your favorite colors and do a painting of your own and create a little set of these beautiful little 8x8 ball shadow boxes. Thanks for being here with me today and have a great day, and remember to keep painting. Till next time.